Hello, everyone. Good afternoon. Thank you so much for joining today's session. My name is Ibukun Fashino, and I am your host for today's session. All right. Thank you for taking our time out of your busy schedules to ensure that you join this, and I can assure you that it's going to be worth your time. Okay. So, today we are talking about navigating the tech transition 1.0. All right. And we put this together so that you are here listening to us can effectively get all the accurate information that you need to transition into tech. If you are in that stage where you really don't know what to do, right, we are here to guide you so that you can have a successful navigation. Okay. And if you're already in tech but you are not finding your feet so well, then this is the best use of your time, because I'm not here alone today. I'm here with our excellent data engineer. Her name is Maureen. Maureen is going to be sharing her story, how she was formerly not into tech and currently how she was able to navigate into tech and start a successful career in tech. Okay. So, firstly, I would like to let you know some basic housekeeping rules that we have. The first is to ensure that you are aware that this webinar is being recorded. Okay, so being recorded means that you can always go back to our YouTube channel. Just search for Secure Intelligence Limited on YouTube, and then you can be sure to catch the replay so you can watch at your leisure. And secondly, at any point in this webinar, when Maureen is presenting, please be sure that you can, make reactions on your screen. There is an emoji reaction, so you can click on it to check varieties of reactions. All right. So it makes us know that you are engaged during this webinar. Okay. And lastly, you ought to know that you can ask questions. Please feel free to drop in your questions using the question icon on your screen. That's the Q&A session. You can click on it, drop your questions, drop your contributions, drop your comments, drop your feedback. These are all the things we want to see. And then you can be sure that we will get them all answered, all right? Because the goal is to ensure that you have the accurate information for you to be able to transition into tech, right? And build a successful career. So next, I want to introduce you to Secure Intelligence Limited. All right. You can also call us SEAL teams, and we like to call ourselves the solution builders. Right. We apply technology to drive effectiveness, to drive agility and growth for your business. Right. We are security oriented, and then we help you position your business to scale across the globe. All right. And another aspect of Secure Intelligence Limited is CIL Academy, where we train technical capabilities in the whole of Africa, right? A part of CIL Academy, one of our programs is called Zero to Techie. And this actually helps you from zero level to be a tech expert, right? I'm sure that Maureen is going to be giving us enough details about the Zero to Techie program, about how she got started and how you can start your journey too, right? Since this webinar is talking about navigating the tech transition. And lastly, there is another part of CIL called the CIL support. This actually helps you with supporting your infrastructure in the cloud, helping you with cloud platform operations, with outsourcing, and every other support that you might need as a business. Okay, so moving on, I would quickly want to share with us the agenda so that you know what exactly to expect in the course of this webinar. And even while the webinar is going on, we'll be rolling out amazing offers, opportunities that you really don't want to miss out on, because I mean, if you are talking about you transitioning into tech, we want to ensure that you have all the information, all the amazing and juicy offers, so you don't want to leave at any point. Okay, so the first thing we are going to be looking at is understanding tech transitions, right? How to understand your transition into tech. What exactly is tech transition, right? Maureen is going to be sharing this with us. And secondly, we are going to be looking at why you need to transition into tech. I mean, I'm so sure you must have been hearing, oh, tech this, tech that. I mean, why is this so trendy? Why is everyone talking about it? There's a reason. So Maureen is going to be sharing with us why you need to transition into tech, how she was able to transition into tech, and also give us a glimpse into our own story. All right. So the third thing we are looking at is challenges in tech transition, right? We have heard and we know that a whole lot of challenges that comes with transitioning into tech, and these are the things you are going to be looking at, and most importantly, how to overcome these challenges. And lastly, we are going to be looking at strategies for successful navigation. All right, we want to ensure that after giving you all the information, we want to help you get to that point where we know that, okay, this is where I need to get started, right? The programs that we have for you that you can take advantage of, right? The offers that we have presented to you that you can start with so that you can record a successful navigation into tech. All right, so being done with this, I want to introduce you once again to our presenter. Her name is Maureen, and she's our excellent data engineer at Secure Intelligence Limited. Hello, Maureen. How are you doing today?
Hi, Buko. I'm awesome. How are you too?
I'm very fine. Thank you so much. So we believe and we are hoping that we're going to have an amazing session with you, right?
Of course, I'm ready for that.
All right. So do have a lovely session. Thank
Thank
you.
you. Thank you so much. Hello, everyone. Good afternoon, good morning, good evening, depending on where you are joining from. Hi. So, yeah, Ibuko had introduced me, but let me also say my name is Maureen. I'm a data engineer from Secure Intelligence Limited. Yeah, so I pivoted into tech that about over a year ago through CIL Academy. And yeah, so I want to walk you through my journey transitioning into the field of tech, the challenges and some of the tips that I believe is going to help you. I believe you joined this webinar because you probably want to transition into tech. Yeah, tech transition, the topic has actually been a very important one because we see a lot of people wanting to transition into tech, desiring to transition into tech. Almost every day, I get to speak with people who want to transition into tech and somehow they don't know how to go about it. They don't know where to start. Some face some challenges. There is this fear and all that. So I believe this is actually a very important topic to talk about. Okay, so please sit back and let's take this journey together. Okay, so before we begin, I want you to please navigate into the chat window and let me know which career you are currently on and which tech track you would like to transition to. So we're going to do that for the next 1 minute. So I want to get to know my audience. I want to know what's your current career path and then which tech track are you looking to transition to? Let's go. Who's going to be the first? Yeah, so it's very important for you to know which track you want to transition to because that's like the first step, right? You wouldn't want to take a journey and then you go to the you go to maybe book a ticket, and then they ask you, where are you going to? Where should we book your ticket to? And you're like, I don't know. I just know that I want to go travel. I don't know where exactly I want to go to. Okay, so that would be a lot of trouble for both you and the person attending to you. So let's know. Where are my audience? Okay, right. Okay, so let's go. Let's run along because of our time. Understanding global tech transition. I expect that I would have my audience engage with me with time, right? So, but let's just move on. So, understanding tech transition. What is tech transition? Okay, globally, tech transition is an ongoing wave of technological advancement that is profoundly influencing various aspects of the world. Okay, it's what does this really mean? It represents the current phase of transformation driven by innovation and technology. We have technologies such as artificial intelligence, automation, data engineering, data analytics, Internet of Things, front end. We have just different technological advancements happening every day. We see AI, we see generative AI every day. We have something, there is a tool, there is something coming up for us to do every day. There's a tool coming up for us to use every day, transforming our lives, right? So we see technology being transformed every day. We see companies, we see businesses using these new tools that is being provided to enhance productivity, to enhance the digitalization of their businesses. Individuals are being adapting and changing to the changing landscape every day, right? And then we see these businesses and these organizations also seeking for individuals and humans, right, talent, who can actually transform their businesses using these tools, these technical tools, this technology that comes up every day. So you see companies looking for them, right? And then this makes it very important for you and I to think about transitioning into tech. So that's why this is a very important thing to talk about. So in essence, tech transition is the journey toward a more connected and data-driven and technological advanced society. Okay, so we're going to quickly talk about the historical context of technology, and then we'll take it on from there. Number one, we see the prehistoric era, right? The prehistoric era is those days of the simple tools, like simple crafted tools made of stones, made of wood, made of bones. Those days when humans, our forefathers, they are hunting and farming, and they make shelters out of, wood and all that. Those were the first era of technology. And then there is this transition into the ancient civilization, right? That's when you have the Egyptians pyramids, right? When you have the Greeks and the Romans advancing, like there are some advancements like writing systems and all those stuffs, right? Then we'll move on to the medieval period. This is the invention of printing press. So this was when printing press was being invented. This like the 15th century, there was a revolution and a spread of knowledge. So the next we move on to is the industrial revolution. Yeah, this is like the 18th and the 19th century. Okay, this brought about industrial revolution, significant advancement in manufacturing. So we have manufacturing, we have transportation, communication technologies, inventions such as steam engines. Those, began to come up. And then the next era we found ourselves was in the 20th century, right? When we saw rapid technological progress, okay, of various domains across technology. Okay, we have key innovations like electricity, telephone, automobiles, airplanes, radio, television, different types of television. We know we started with the black and white, and then we went over to the colored and all that, okay? And then we are now in the 21st century, right? Which is like there have been an exponential growth of technology at this time. There have been advancements in different areas. So this is where we have the AI coming up, IoT, machine learning, robotic, biotechnology, different opportunities, creating new opportunities, addressing global challenges. So um, there have been there have been this trend of transformation in technology that has created new opportunities for you and I, and have made it important for us to take advantage of these opportunities. Okay. Overall, history of technology is a story of human ingenuity and curiosity and the relentless pursuit of progress. So because of this relentless pursuit of progress, it has become important for organizations to look for talent, to search for talent, right? To search for talents that will help them to achieve productivity, through these tools that comes up every day, right? Okay, so with that being said, I would like to take us through the next topic, which is why transition into tech. Now, let's talk. Let's begin to talk. Having laid the foundation of tech transition, let's talk. Why transition into tech? Why is it important for you to transition into tech? What is the reason why you want to transition into tech? Now, I know each and every one of us have the different reasons why we want to transition into tech. I had a reason, or I had some reasons why I wanted to transition into tech. And well, I know that if you ask me, common is maybe the money, tech money, right? You know, there's a saying that data is the new oil, right? So the common reason might be money, right? Tech money. But there are other reasons, right, why people transition into tech, right? And I want to advise that the money part not be the main reason, right, why you transition into tech. Okay. So number one thing that I want to talk about is innovation and disruption. You know, we have talked about the rise of artificial intelligence. We have talked about the rise of technological innovation and advancement, right? That is one reason why you could decide to transition into tech. Like, I love the way, one of the reasons why I decided to transition into tech was the fact that I was tired of the status quo. Okay, so I begin to tell my story. I was I was into management. Okay, I was an administrator, and if you know about being an administrator, you will know that there's a lot of routine. Quite all right, maybe not 100%, but there's a lot of routine. And at some point, I got exhausted, I got tired. I'm like, no, I'm tired of the routine. I wanted to get into a career that would challenge me. There is something new every day, there is something to do every day. Okay. And tech was that career. Okay. And yeah, here I am. So the next reason why people transition into tech is job growth and stability. Yeah, the truth is that tech gives you that stability. Tech gives you that job growth. According to US Bureau of Labor Statistics, employment in this industry, technology occupation, is projected to 11% from 2019 to 2029 compared to other average occupations. So that means there will continue to be growth. There will continue to be growth. There will continue to be stability, even up to the coming years. Okay, so you are sure that transitioning into tech, you are not afraid what will happen to your career tomorrow. Okay, that's another reason. Another reason is global opportunity. As a tech, as a tech person, let me use that word. As a tech person, the industry provides you with abundance of opportunity. And these opportunities are not just local opportunities, they are global opportunities. You are able to collaborate with people from different walks of life. So imagine me sitting right here in my bedroom. I'm able to work with people all over the world. Okay. I'm able to collaborate with other tech experts all over the world. This is one thing that tech will do for you. The next thing is entrepreneurial opportunity. The tech industry is known for fostering entrepreneur and empowering individuals to turn their innovative ideas into successful businesses. You will be able to, you can sit in your house and think of something, and you can, it tech being a tech person makes it easier for you to take the first step into transforming your innovative ideas, transforming it into a solution. Right. So I was telling somebody some time ago about how I saw a pregnant woman. Now I have transitioned into tech, and tech has given me that, has expanded my mind to the extent that I see a pregnant woman going to the hospital. I see how she's struggling and she's trying to get to meet her doctor, and instantly I'm thinking, what solution can I bring up? What can I do to help this woman? I know there are other solutions out there, right? But you can add your own input, no matter how small. That's one very interesting thing in tech. Okay, so I'm thinking about, what can I do? What solution can I bring up? What app can I build? What can I, to help this woman? She doesn't have to get on the road, struggle just to go and see her doctor. There must be a way, right? That's one thing that tech does for you. So yeah, addressing societal challenges, of course, what I have just explained now is connected to this. Okay, so before you know it, you are bringing up solution, at the end of the day, lifelong learning and growth. Yeah, so you cannot be in tech without being ready to learn every day, to grow every day. In fact, the moment you stop learning, the moment you stop growing, you realize that you are no longer relevant in the field of tech. Because the reason is, remember, we have talked about how tech is advancing, technology is advancing every day, and you have to advance with it. Okay, yeah, so let's move on quickly. Yeah, so having said that, let's talk about challenges in tech transition. So this is where I fully tell you my story. So I want you to please, listen very well. I like this part, right? Challenges in tech transition, they are actually challenges, okay? Nobody should tell you it was easy, it was all bed of roses. It was not. So like I said, I was an administrator and I wanted something new. I wanted something different, okay? And so I just went into I just went on into the internet, went to Google, went to social media, and I just started searching. What do I do? How do I go about it? I didn't know how to go about it. I didn't know what to do next. So I just started searching, and I saw a lot of information out there. So that brings us into our number one point: information overload. One of the challenge about text transcription is that there will be a lot of information. Like if you just go online, just search, how do I become this? How do I become? You will see different things telling you, and then you get confused. Okay, you might go like, I don't even know. You get overwhelmed at the end of the day. Okay, because there is a vast sea of information out there. There's different tools, technologies, tools, a lot of it out there. So that it now makes it important for you to have somebody, have a body, have somebody that can take you, that can hold your hand and take you through this sea of information. Okay, so when I got there, it was overwhelming. I didn't know, so I began to take a lot of courses. In fact, there are some courses I took that I look at today, I was like, I can ask myself and say, why did I even do this? Okay, yeah. So I began to take lots of courses, and just for 5 months, I was just rolling until I met CIL Academy. Right. So when I joined CIL Academy, what CIL Academy did for me was to be able to cut that path for me and made it very clear. So just imagine I was still on that path for 5 years, for 1 year. At the end of the day, I might not have even, had one particular like track of which I am on right now as a data engineer. I knew I loved data, but I didn't know anything much about data. What track in data do I want to go for? Is it data? Is it what track? I wasn't sure. But when I met CIL Academy, right? So CIL Academy was able to cut that part for me and made it easy for me to walk through the path. Right. So that brings us, let's talk about our next point quickly. The next point is job markets, right? Job market. So, well, quickly before we move on to this job market, let me just make this point that in this information, talking about information overload, one of the things that helped me to navigate is that I was able to set clear goals, and this is what CIL Academy did for me. Set clear goals. This is what I want to do, and this is what is needed to get through that part. I want to become okay, what do I want? I want to become a data engineer. Okay, what is the path that will lead me actually to becoming a data engineer? Then if even after cutting that path and setting that clear goal, I said, this is the path that will lead me to become that data engineer. What kind of data engineer do I want to become? Do I want to be a data engineer that will be relevant in the industry, or a data engineer that will not be relevant in the industry? When I say will be relevant in the industry, I mean there are tools, there are some recent tools, that you need to know as a data engineer that will make you more relevant. So when an employer sees you, they're like, okay, what can you do as a data engineer? And then you imagine telling them, I can do something with a tool that maybe nobody uses anymore, right? So that is what CIL Academy helped me. So the next point is job market. The next point is the job market competition. Another challenge is that there is job market competition. The truth is that, so I told you about how I took some courses for 5 months. I was just taking some courses and just doing all those stuffs and all that. And then I finished one of the courses I took, and I told myself, yeah, I've finished. Okay, so now let me begin to look for a job. I sent out several I sent out several applications, sent my resume. I wasn't even called for an interview, right? Because I realized that it was dense. Like there were a lot of people. So before it even got to me, right? That's another challenge transitioning into tech. So before I met CIL Academy, again, I met CIL Academy, and then they took me through. And right now, I'm not only a data engineer, but I'm also a data engineer working with Secure Intelligence Limited. So they also took care of that part of hunting for job for me. Right. So let's move on to the next. The next is work-life balance. Okay. This is another challenge. Knowing when to stop. Yeah, you desire, I want to do this, you're pushing, you're being encouraged to push, you're being encouraged to be resilient, you're being encouraged, but in the midst of it, you have to know when to take a break. Very important, know when to take a break, right? One thing I really enjoyed about CIL Academy is the fact that, yes, they take you through the week, but weekend, there is nothing. You are not doing anything. Okay, there is no do this, there are no instructor less sessions during the weekend. So you have your weekend to yourself, you have your break to yourself, you're able to recuperate and prepare for the next step. This is very important. Next is fear of failing. Oh my God, I had it. If we're talking about fear of failing, I had it. Transitioning from a different and entirely new career into tech, one of the fears I have was that, what if I failed? What if I don't make it? What if nothing comes out of it? What if I have wasted my time? Right? And being that I had experienced that when I took those first courses I talked about, and then nothing was coming out of it. And sometimes I think about it, I say, what if at the end of the day, nothing comes out of it? Right? So you have that fear of failing. But if you dwell on that fear, you will not be able to move forward. Right? A wise man said that when you fail and then you start again, does not mean that you are not starting from the scratch. Okay, you are starting from experience. So sometimes failure is important, and understanding that sometimes failure is good for you will help you not to even be afraid of failing. So I got to that point, yeah, where I was afraid of failing. That was before I met CIL Academy again. So when I met CIL Academy, what did CIL Academy do for me? It helped me to take care of that fear of failing. One very huge fear I had was fear of writing code. So when I wanted to transition, I was like, okay, I'll just do the peripheral. I will not go so deep. I don't want to write code. I don't want to do all that. Let me just do something small. So imagine somebody that started by saying, let me just do something small. Is now a data engineer who the very first tool that you will work with is Python. Okay, Python code, right? So this is what CIL Academy did for me. They helped me overcome that fear. And then today, in fact, the very first time I started learning how to write Python code before CIL Academy, I was scared and I ran away. But when I joined CIL Academy, the curriculum, in fact, I was telling somebody, I said, wait, this particular curriculum on Python is different from the one I've always known. Right? So they take it through, they make it easy for you, they give you the one that is easy for you to understand. And at the end of the day, I fell in love with Python and began to love, like to yearn to go again. Very important. Let's go to the next slide. Yeah, so haven't talked about all these challenges. Let's talk about the strategies for a successful job switch. Okay, now we know there are challenges. We know that it could be difficult. We know that it could be overwhelming. We know that there are things, the job, if there's competition out there, like we know all those challenges. So the question is, how do we navigate? How do we successfully switch? How do I successfully switch even in the midst of all these challenges? Like me, I had them, but I was able to successfully switch. So one of them is explore diverse career paths. So when we started, I told us to write about, just put in the Anchor chat which tech track you wanted. It was for a purpose. It was for you want to pivot into for a purpose, for a reason. Because number one, you have to have an idea of what you want to do. have an idea of what you want to do. So like I said, I knew I wanted to, pivot into tech. I knew I wanted something, even though I had this fear that I didn't want to go deep. I knew I also liked anything about data. I liked it, but I didn't know what exactly, no, which exactly. Okay. And that CIL Academy helped me answer that question. So I was able to pick which particular career path I wanted to, which is like the first step for you. Okay. Yeah. Then the next is eliminate alternative and focus on your path. So after you have decided that this is what I want to do, it is important that you eliminate every other alternative, because the truth is, just like there is a sea of information out there is a sea of different boot camps out there. And the truth is that some of them, like I said, I did some and I wrote some exams, but I came out and I wasn't even sure of what I was doing. The truth is that some of them you might enter and come out, and there is not, you cannot really tangibly say this is what I could do. Okay. Eliminating alternative is very important. It will help you focus on your career, right? It will help you limit distractions. It will help you stay on what you want to do and give you more time and more room to be able to build yourself in that career. Okay, the next is embrace lifelong learning. We cannot talk about this enough. It's very important. You cannot survive in tech, or you cannot do well in tech or be successful in tech without embracing a lifelong learning. Decide that I am given to learning. Be given to learning, because the truth is, when you want to do this, there is always something new to learn. You are trying to learn this, especially the fact that for some of us here that do not have a background in tech, right? This is what I want to learn this. And as you're thinking about learning this one, you are seeing something else that you're supposed to know. And as you're thinking about learning this one, you're seeing something else. And you probably go on Facebook and you see someone uploading a new tool. And you go on LinkedIn, somebody is talking about something else as a data engineer. And you're telling yourself, oh my, I need to know this one too as a data engineer, right? There are a lot of it out there, right? But you should be able to, you should decide that I want to learn. Make up your mind that I want to learn. Give your time to learning. Okay. My story, one of the things that helped me to keep learning and keep learning is I tried as much as possible to eliminate distractions. Okay. So one thing I used to do was every morning I used to leave my house very early. Yeah, remember I said I was an administrator. I used to leave my house when we started. I used to leave my house very early, and en route my office is the library. So 8 o'clock, I'm in the library. I'm supposed to resume work by 9 o'clock. 8 o'clock, I'm in the library. 7:30, I'm already standing in front of the door waiting for them to open. And then when I finish, I used to close at 4. I finish, the library closes at 6. I'm stopping at the library. I am doing something. Okay, 2 hours. So at the end of the day, I have spent 3 hours a day learning. It's something. And then I get home, of course. So I know that sometimes there may be some people here say, I'm working. How do I do this? How do I do that? You can actually plan your time. Time management is very important. Okay. Next, cultivate creativity and innovation. You cannot be in tech and not say, and if that creative part of you will pop up. That's just the truth. Because like I remember telling us a story of how I saw a pregnant woman, and before you know it, I was already, that's not how I was thinking before. Maybe I was close, but it became more, right? I already started thinking about solution. I already started thinking about what to do. What to do to help this woman is very important. The next thing that we're going to talk about is stay resilient. It's very important to stay resilient. Okay. Like I said, there are challenges. There are reasons why you won't even want to continue. I remember for myself, there was a time I told myself, come on, what are you even doing here? Like, why not? Aren't you wasting your time? Right? Because the challenges were overwhelming. I wanted to give up. Okay. But when I remember that there are people, like I told you, I was a part of the CIL Academy. When I remember some people in my team who will always want me to move forward, who will always want me to, they are talking about, in fact, I remember one time we had an instructor-led session, and while I was there, hiding and thinking that nobody was noticing me, the instructor called my name. I'm like, oh my goodness, like, Somebody is noticing me. That helps me stay. That's motivated me to want to move forward. So stay resilient whichever way you can. I remember I had somebody around me then that told me, what are you even doing this thing for? Everybody must not. When I was trying to, learn Python, so everybody must not code. What are you even doing this thing for? Everybody must not be in tech. Use the one, take the one that you have and stay in your comfort zone. There will be reasons why you want to stay in your comfort zone. That is just the truth. Okay. But it depends on what you want. Ask yourself. That's why it's very important to take this, to decide what you want from the beginning, right? This is what I wanted, and this is the reason. And then we also talk about the reason why you want to transition. It will help you stay resilient at the end of the day. When those challenges come, you remind yourself, this is why I came in the first place. And remember, I told you that let money not be the number one reason. Let it not be, maybe it can be the last, right? But it shouldn't be the first reason why you want to transition into tech. Because when the money is not coming, let's say for instance, it's not the whole whatever you have learned. I told you my story of how I went through a boot camp. I learned, I did all that, and then I'm not trying to get a job and nothing is forthcoming. And then you could just give up and say, "Abeg, this money is not coming. Why am I still here?" Okay, money should not be the first, right? Stay resilient, stick to it, be ready to go the extra mile. Okay, I know that sometimes there are some situations, some circumstances that will help you stay resilient, and I am very sure that CIL Academy gave me that platform to be able to stay resistant, right? I have friends, I had people, I had a community. We'll talk about community as time goes on. I had a community that was ready to support me. Okay, I had instructors that didn't only look like instructor. There was not that teacher instructor student relationship, not at all. You are talking with your instructor and he's looking like it's your classmate, it's your colleague, right? Imagine an instructor calling you that you're trying to transition into tech. They are now calling you the techie, right? And you're like, you that I'm supposed to be calling the chief is calling me. There's a way they encourage you, there's a way they keep you going, right? And then the next thing is self-assessment. It's important to do a self-assessment every now and then. It's very important so that you know where you are, because we see situations where we have people just come up and say, I am a this, I am a that. And you ask them, okay, you a this, you a that. What can you do as a this, a that? What tool? I remember somebody reaching out to me last month. I see you a data engineer. What tool do you use as a data engineer? And I was able to, talk about the tool. I didn't only mention the tools I use. I was able to talk about the tools and enlighten. Of course, the person has an idea of what a data engineer should be doing. And I talked about it. And at the end of the day, it was like, oh, wow, that's a great one you were doing there. How did I get here? It's in academy, right? Okay. So very important. Do a self-assessment at every point in time. Who am I? What else do I need to learn? What is expected of me? So I already have a path that I want to go through. How far have I gone? What have I been able to do? What more do I need to do? How do I need to go about it? Do I need help? Do I need somebody helping me? Very important. Okay. The next thing is, remember, it's a journey. It's a journey, it's not a race. So don't expect that you'll start and then in 1 week, in 2 weeks, in 1 month, in 2 months, in 3 months, you become a techie, right? CIL Academy has a program of the Zero to Techie. They have the Zero to Techie program that lasts for 6 months, 7 months, right? I think it's between 6 to 7 months, right? They take you through rigorously, right? At the end of the day, you come out and you are sure you can say, yes, I know this thing. I know this thing. I'm able to use this thing. Okay. Remember, it's not a race. It's a journey. Take it one step at a time. If you try to take everything, you will choke. Definitely, you will choke. Right. So the next is embrace accountability partnership. This one, I have a personal experience with this one. Yeah, I have personal experiences with other ones, but this one is so dear to my heart. Embrace accountability partnership. Very, very important. Okay. As you are going through this, what's accountability partnership? Accountability partnership is having a buddy, okay, that will work with you, maybe like a learning buddy that you both have the same purpose, the same goal. It's very important that you both are going to the same goal, because two people going, the Holy Book says two cannot work together except they be agreed, right? So it is very important that you have an accountability partnership, somebody that you can be accountable to, somebody that can ask you questions like, how have you been able to do this? Somebody that you both agree and say, let's do this for the week, right? Even up till now, I have successfully transitioned into tech. I still have accountability partners, and we still learn together every weekend, because there, like we said, in a lifelong learning. There are things to learn continuously. Somebody that would remind you that this is what you said you were going to do and you haven't done them. I remember having a partner that I always remember, like I always hear the echo of my partner, like I hear his voice every time when I want to maybe procrastinate, when I want to just, just let me just rest. Let me just, I'm not doing this thing today. I'll do it next week. I'll just hear my partner asking me, have you done this? Have you done that? That's another thing that inspired me to continue. Right. So sometimes we learn from our partners as well. You're struggling with something, maybe you try through the weekend, you try to debug through the night, and then it's not working. You don't even know why, you can't even understand why. Two heads are better than one. Sometimes you can just talk to your partner, I don't know what's happening, and maybe the person had even gone through that situation before and have gotten a solution. The person just goes like, oh, that it happened to me last week, or see, and something that you would have spent like hours doing, right, has been taken care of in a few minutes. So very important. Okay, so the next that we're going to talk about is network and seek mentorship. This one again is another very dear, so it looks like I kept the best for the last. Another very dear one to me is network and seek mentorship. So let me tell you my story about mentorship. So while I was struggling and trying to navigate, I told myself that no, I'm not going to do this. I won't be able to do this by myself. I need somebody. I need a mentor. Right. And that's how I began to search for mentors. I sent different chats. I'm like, please be my mentor. Of course, I didn't just say, please be my mentor. I was conscious, right? I'm I introduced myself. I'm a this, trying to, I need someone for, I'm telling you, even up to now, none of them has responded. In fact, there's one particular lady I really admired that put up on LinkedIn, say, I want to mentor about 200. I want to mentor 200 women. I think it's 200 or so. I want to mentor 200 women. If you're interested, please let me know in the comment section. I did not only say I was interested in the comment section. I even went to her DM, right, to let they say, what's that they say? They say the violence taken by force. So I went to her DM, I explained myself, I'm interested, I saw that I'm excited, even up to now, no response, okay. But then CIL Academy gave me that I have desired. Okay, I had desired a mentor. I had desired somebody that would lead me through. So while we were in CIL Academy doing all we were doing, I was giving myself, I was resilient. It is very important for you to be resilient, okay? Because most times your mentor will not, when you approach them, they might not, professionals, they might not really want to accept you that much, right? But when they see that you're resilient and all that. So I was resilient, I was pushing, I was like, no, I must do this, I must come out, I must be the best, I must do it, even though it's difficult. And then one very pleasant afternoon, I got a message in my inbox, like, I see how resilient you are. I want to add you to the number of students that will be under my radar. Like, I was shocked, like, for a while. I was like, wait, and that's how I got a mentor that today I am still grateful that I have that mentor. And the relationship I have with that mentor is not just, there's this mentor-mentee relationship sort of thing. No, that's the culture of CIL Academy that I love, right? So there is this cordial relationship. It's your mentor. We know he's your mentor. He's teaching you, but there is this cordial relationship that at the end of the day, you feel among. There's this sense of belonging, like, no, this thing is for me, and that definitely helps you. Okay. The next we'll talk about is stay curious. Stay curious. In fact, that's about Einstein. He said, I do not have I do not have a talent. I do not have an exceptional talent. That's about Einstein. I do not have an exceptional talent. I am just a curious person, right? I stay curious consistently. Staying curious will help you to achieve a lot. You'll be able to, like, you're asking yourself, why is this like this? Why is this like this? Why is you're asking the whys, which is like the first step to be able to find out the why. Okay, stay curious. Why is this working like this? How did this come about? How did they do this? How does this generative AI work? How does robots work? How does this happen? How does this happen? And before you know it, you're asking the why, and then it's driving you to research. It's driving you to study. It's driving you to want to know. And at the end of the day, you know something that somebody did not know, right? Or that somebody does not know. I remember a story that happened, something that happened where we had to use a particular tool, a particular AWS tool for a project. And some few days before that project, I had asked myself, how does this work? How does it work? How and how and how? And I began to make that research, and I finally understood that tool and knew how to use the tool. So when we were gathered together, it was time for us to use the tool. And where there was a blocker, everybody was like, I don't know how to use this thing. I said, guys, don't worry. And then I felt like the champion. Okay. Yeah, I felt like the champion. So it is very important for you to stay curious. Staying curious is very, very important. Okay. One thing that I want to talk about before one thing I want to talk about before we go is the imposter syndrome, right? There would definitely be, you will feel it. I mean, you have probably had felt it once or twice or in one area or the other, right? But you could feel sometimes the imposter syndrome while you're trying to navigate into tech. I felt it, okay? And I want to tell you my story of how I was able to. Okay, how I was able to navigate. What's imposter syndrome? Imposter syndrome is a feeling of self-doubt, right? You don't believe, you don't think that you are able, you don't think that you have what it takes to be here. Even when you are making strides, even when you're making some advancements, maybe little advancements out there, you feel like, no, it's not because I know anything, it's just luck. Sometimes you feel like it's just luck that got me here. Sometimes you feel like, I didn't even know how I did it. It's not me, that kind of thing. I do not belong here. Self-doubt and all that. Those are imposter syndrome. Sometimes you will feel it. I remember asking myself, what are you doing here? Like, why are you here? You don't belong here. Why not go back to where you're coming from, where you can easily make a mistake and, readjust yourself, and nobody will even notice that you have made a mistake and, readjusted. Why not go back? Go back to your comfort zone. We always want to be, we always want to be in our comfort zone as humans, okay? But how do you navigate this? Okay, how do you go through this and come out? Number one is to believe in yourself. Believe that you can do this. First of all, why did you come? Why did you decide to come here? So believe that you can do this. Eliminate self-doubts, because those self-doubts will come. Another thing that you could do is to you can remind yourself of the little achievements you have made. Probably you have come through the tech transition for like 2 months, 3 months. You have made some little strands there. One of the things that helped me, I remember vividly, was that story I told you guys about. I read about that particular tool some days ago, and then I came, and then by the time I was doing it and we were able to, get that solution running, that was one thing that helped me. If every time I felt like, no, I don't belong here, I reminded myself, I'm like, you were the one that brought that solution and everybody was hailing you. Come on, you belong here. And that really helped me. And another thing is, another body that helped me is CIL Academy. Imagine coming for an instructor-led section, and then you are being taught about a tool or about something that you need to know, and then the instructor is calling your name and it's like, I saw that this person did this in her whatever, and that was really good. I remember one of my instructors, he will always call your name and say, I'm seeing what you're doing, keep it up. That helped me. I'm like, oh my God, like somebody, I'm actually doing something. It helped me to overcome imposter syndrome. So if you want to navigate like me. Like, if you're like I was, I had challenges. Yes, you could be having challenges. You probably don't even know where to start. Like I didn't know where to start. You don't know how. Like I didn't know how to go about it. Right? We have outlined some of these challenges which you could face at every point. And I've told you that one way I was able to navigate these challenges is through the help of CIL Academy. And I am here today selling CIL Academy to you. Well, maybe not the right word, but I want you to know that it is possible to transition into tech, right? It is very possible to transition into tech. I joined the Zero to Techie program, and that was how I was able to transition. And today, I am not only enjoying my job, I love what I do as a data engineer. I look back and I'm like, whoa. And that's through the help of the Zero to Techie program. Like the name, Zero to Techie. If you're scared and say, I don't know anything, how do I even go about it? No, don't worry. It's even your type we're looking for. You are like me. I didn't know anything, but the only thing I know about computer was MS Word, of course, those tools that we use as administrators, right? I didn't know anything about OSI model, networking. So they begin from the basis for you, right? So if you feel that, I don't know anything, how can I? Don't worry. Come to the Zero to Techie program. They will begin from zero with you. And as the program progresses, you will realize that you are beginning to know. I'm like, oh my God, like I know this. My husband had been into IT for years and I wasn't. So when I started the Zero to Techie program, I found myself after 1 month, I began to converse with my husband with, networking tools and, tech networking words and tech words and the linguas and all that. I'm like, oh really? Like that? I say, yes, I know that, thanks to the Zero to Techie program. So please, I'm going to hand you over to Ibukun right now. I believe that you have received something. In conclusion, we have highlighted points, we have conveyed different abundance opportunities that are available in the tech industry, right? The Zero to Techie program we take you through. We have cloud engineering, we have data engineering, we have front end engineering. Okay, it will take you through from zero, from scratch. You don't need to know anything. You don't even know A. It's fine. Just come. We'll start from A with you. Okay. Thank you very much for having me. I believe that you have gotten something, even though transitioning into a new territory can be a daunting task, right? But with the Zero to Techie program, you can actually transition successfully into tech. When I say successfully, I say that intentionally because I know that I actually know someone who started this transition before me, and up till now there is nothing as tangible as I have, right? Because he just does this, does that. I'm like, come to the Zero to Techie program. He's just dragging his feet. I will come. Please don't be like that, my friend. Don't drag your feet. Start early, okay? So that in 1 year, like me, you will be able to get your footing into tech. Thank you very much for this. I'll be open to questions. Yeah, if you have a question, please feel free to ask. I'm ready to answer your questions.
Wow. Thank you so much for a lovely session, Maureen. That was really insightful. That was very engaging and informative. It was a time well spent. Thank you so much for also sharing your story. I mean, I learned quite a couple of things. I learned that you were very resilient. I learned how you were able to overcome your challenges. And most importantly, I learned time management. I mean, I loved how you shared examples of waking up early, going to the library, then afterwards you get to go to work, then you come back, you resume at the library before heading back home. I mean, that must have come with a lot of sacrifice. And of course, yes, if you're here and then you're listening to us, you've heard from the horse's mouth, you've heard Maureen talk about her story, share her challenges, how she got started. She even explained tech transition, what you're most likely to face and how to most importantly overcome it. So if you have questions for Maureen, this is the best time to ask Maureen questions so that she can, answer all your questions. And if you are also here and you want to be like Maureen, I mean, you want to be able to share your story, like Maureen is doing so well today, please, there is a link in the Q&A box, right? Just click on that link and then book a session. One of our consultants is going to speak with you so that we guide you further in the best career path for you. Like she mentioned, we have quite a couple of zero to techie courses. We have a course in data engineering, we have one in cloud engineering, we have front-end engineering currently, right? And let us know if you're actually interested in any of these, or you even have other ones that you're interested in that we didn't mention today. All right, so you can click on the link in the chat box, in the Q&A box, so that you can ask your questions. Thank you so much, Maureen. That was an amazing session. So we'll just wait for like a few minutes to see if anyone is going to have question for you. All right. So you can also follow us on our social media platforms. Do well to check us out on Instagram at CIL Teams. Check us out on YouTube. I mentioned that earlier so that you can catch the replay of this webinar. Check out Secure Intelligence Limited on YouTube. You can also check out CIL Academy on YouTube. All right. You can connect with us on LinkedIn. Just check for Secure Intelligence on LinkedIn and also CIL Academy. And yes, we are very active on Twitter and also on Facebook, right? These are the best places to get information about all that we do. All right. And, especially webinar sessions like this. All right. So let me see if we have any question. Okay. All right. We do not have any. Okay. All right. In the absence of questions, I think we can actually call it a day. Thank you so much, Maureen, for bringing your positive energy, for bringing all of the amazing information that you shared with us. Thank you for letting us into your story, and thank you for your time, because I mean, it's not easy to pull a data engineer from Secure Intelligence, pulling them into the webinar, taking out of their time. But of course, I can tell that it was worth the time. Thank you so much. So do you have final words of encouragement for people who want to transition into tech? What do you have to say to them? Like final words.
Okay, final words. In summary, know what you want to do, right? Know what you want and go for it. Decide to make up your mind to try. Okay, don't let anything deter you. People around might, when you're trying to push, like there might be those who will make some of those sarcastic statements, probably remind you of your past failures. I had someone like that who did that. But let those be the fuel, okay, that drive your engine. Okay, say if life, how they say that, if, make that statement, if life throw lemons at you, make lemonades, okay, and drink some. Okay, so if you might have people who do not believe in you, okay, make up your mind, first of all, believe in yourself, and let those statements and those people who do not believe you, let them be the fuel, what fuels you to want to get to your goal. Thank you.
Wow. Wow. Thank you for those words of inspiration. If life throws you lemon, make lemonades. All right.
Drink some.
And I also just picked out what you just said, that sometimes we might actually be surrounded by people who might remind us of our past failures, right? Those failures do not define us, right? They should actually be the fuel that runs our engine to be more successful. Thank you so much, Maureen, for those words of inspiration. Thank you for your time, and thank you for all that you've shared today. All right. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining this lovely session. And we really hope you are going to use words from Maureen today, use our story as an inspiration to get started with your tech transition. And we at Secure Intelligence Limited and at CIL Academy, We wish you the very best in your tech career. Cheers, everyone. Thank you for joining. Enjoy the rest of your day. Bye.